Greetings, I'm Ryan from Owl Adventures. We're based in North Yorkshire, UK, and we have a small falconry business. Now this video is to explain a little about the wild bird of prey rescue, rehabilitation and release work that we do, which is a little non-profit sideline of the business. We believe that it's very important to educate people, especially young people, about nature, the environment and the wildlife that's on their very doorstep. We deliver this when visiting schools and scouts or guide groups, and when at shows and displays with our own birds. We also believe that it's important to save the lives of native birds wherever possible. This includes barn owls, tawny owls, little owls, long and short-eared owls, buzzards, kestrels, sparrowhawks, red kites, and any other species that live wild in the UK. Like all wild animals, each bird species has its own conservation status, such as endangered, vulnerable, least concern, etc. I think it would be worthless telling you any of the current status levels for British birds, as they often change, and therefore this video would become outdated very quickly. Having said that, we see it as a success story every time we release a bird of prey back into the wild, whether it's endangered or not. Now the birds we rescue are either injured by traffic or some other accident, or unwell with a virus, bacterial infection, or some other illness. When they come in, the first thing we do is inspect them, weigh them, and usually feel the keel, which is a sharp bone on the breast of the bird. If the keel feels too sharp, it's a good indication the bird is underweight. It's vital to determine if the bird's energy levels are low. Often, injured or unwell birds are not found straight away, and they can be very low in weight. In the wild, even a mild injury can prevent the bird from hunting, and therefore they may starve to death. If feeding the bird looks paramount, but the bird won't or can't eat, you would usually crop feed the bird, a method used to directly inject food into the crop. Now this is the tool we use. That's the tube there that will go down the throat into the crop, which is like the stomach of the bird. And in this section here, we'll put in a compound of water, vitamins and high energy carnivore mix. We can then pump it straight into the crop. Sometimes we may take the bird to our specialist vet. They may x-ray and operate on the bird where necessary. Then it's on to the rehabilitation. This is where we feed and care for the bird, administrating any painkillers or antibiotics whilst the bird recovers and builds up its strength. A good sign the bird is ready to be released is when it's flying well in the aviary and essentially trying to get out. We then take the bird to where it's to be released, usually close to where it was found, and as long as it's away from roads or any other dangers. The bird is then released back into the wild. The rescue work we undertake is just a small sideline of the work we do, but it's a very rewarding feeling when a bird is saved. Occasionally, I've been called out to try to retrieve a lost captive bird. Now there have been a number of times where I've been called out and failed to call a hawk or owl to fly down from a tree for a tasty looking meal. However, there have been a number of occasions where I was able to capture the lost bird, including this barn owl here, seen with his owner and keeper, which managed to escape from its aviary and was out in the wilds of North Yorkshire for almost a week. Now another few hours and that bird may not have survived, as they don't know how to feed themselves in the wild, they don't know how to hunt. My proudest achievement in this topic was when I was called out to a gentleman's garden who had an eagle owl sat on his grass. Now when it saw me begin to approach, it was spooked and it flew to this small tree. I then stalked the bird, which means moving closer to the animal as slowly as possible, and as soon as it looks at me, I must keep absolutely still. I was able to get within just a few inches of the owl by travelling a distance of about 6 metres within approximately 35 minutes. I then very quickly took hold of the bird and was then able to return it to the owner. Now the Independent Bird Register is a far-reaching, meaningful business that allows lost birds to be returned to their owner by using the number that's on the ring, on the leg ring, as a means of recognition. Now, if you ever find an injured or poorly bird of prey, please contact your local bird of prey centre or animal rescue centre. If you need to capture the bird, carefully use a towel to cover the bird and pick it up. Keeping its eyes covered will help keep the bird calm. If the bird tries to move, or there is any other reason you can't capture the bird, the best thing to do is to keep an eye on it until professional help arrives. I should also mention branching owls. Now in Britain it's very common for tawny owls to leave the nest and be sighted perched on a low branch or even on the ground at just a few weeks old. This is often misconstrued as an injured or orphaned owl. So if you ever find a fluffy owlet, do not approach it. Simply check from a distance to see if it's still there, and if you're doubtful then ask your local animal rescue centre for advice. If a human touches or interferes with a branching owl, the parents are almost always aware and they will most likely abandon their young. Now if you would like to know about the recent birds we rescue, then take a look at our Owl Diary videos, and don't forget to press the subscribe button so you'll never miss a new video from us. Thanks, bye for now.